You know that feeling. Payday hits, you see the numbers in your account, or maybe, you get that notification.
And that little dopamine hit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for a brief, beautiful moment, you feel that cushion, that possibility.
Yeah.
And then maybe a week or two later, sometimes even sooner, right? That feeling starts to fade.
Oh, yeah. Reality bites.
You glance at your balance and think, wait a second, where did it all go?
Happens to the best of us.
Managing money. I mean, it feels complex, doesn't it? Like you're navigating some kind of maze you didn't get a map for.
Yeah, it can definitely feel overwhelming.
But what if it wasn't a maze? What if it was more like um, building a powerful engine?
Okay, I like that metaphor.
Yeah, one that gives you control, opens up these incredible opportunities, and actually, reduces that stress.
That's the goal, isn't it? Less stress, more control.
That's exactly the transformation we're diving into today. We've pulled together a whole stack of sources, articles, research, even perspectives from folks who really seem to have this money thing figured out.
Right.
So this deep dive isn't about going back to Personal Finance 101. For you, who probably already knows the basics, our mission here is to cut straight to the most valuable insights.
They're surprising nuggets.
Yeah, the nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
And the truly actionable strategies highlighted in this material, it's kind of a shortcut, really, to mastering your money by understanding how those who succeed actually do it.
Getting straight to the good stuff.
We're aiming for clarity, control, and a strategic approach that positions you for whatever future you're building.
And, looking across all these sources, every single one points to one non-negotiable starting point. The absolute bedrock.
Okay, let's unpack this. And it's the word that makes some people, well, cringe a little. Budgeting.
Yeah, it gets a bad rap. But the sources, they frame it less like a straitjacket.
Right, less restrictive.
Exactly. More like a blueprint, an act of intentionality.
Okay.
Yeah. The research suggests that viewing budgeting as restrictive is actually a major mental block people have. Instead, the material positions it as the essential tool for gaining awareness and taking, proactive control.
So it's about understanding your financial reality, not just, limiting every fun thing.
Precisely. And what's fascinating here is how the sources detail the concrete benefits. They move beyond just these vague concepts.
Like what specifically, what advantages does the material say this blueprint gives you?
Well, first and foremost is gaining true clarity and control. One source described it as finally seeing the whole financial picture in high definition.
Okay, I like that. High-def finances.
Yeah. It turns those abstract wishes, like I want to save more, into tangible numbers you can actually influence.
Makes sense.
Then there's the prevention aspect, identifying those money leaks, the overspending that happens almost unconsciously.
Yes, the unconscious money leaks. Like that third streaming service you totally forgot you subscribed to.
Exactly that. But budgeting, according to these sources, is also the engine for goal setting. It provides the structure to actually allocate resources towards your specific aspirations, whether that's knocking out debt, building an emergency fund, or, saving for a down payment.
Without a budget, those goals kind of just float around, don't they?
They often remain just dreams, yeah.
Huh.
And crucially, it builds financial resilience.
Resilience, okay.
Having a clear budget and the savings it helps you build creates a buffer. One article highlighted how this peace of mind, when unexpected expenses pop up, is one of the most significant yet often overlooked benefits.
So it's not about deprivation, it's about deliberate allocation, like telling your money where to go, aligned with your life.
You got it.
Now, for someone who understands the why, the sources offer specific techniques, right? They aren't just saying, go budget. They're saying, maybe try this.
Right, yeah, they delve into practical methodologies. Zero-based budgeting is prominent.
Euro-based.
The concept is basically that every single dollar of your income is assigned a job. Either it's an expense, it goes into savings, or it goes to debt payment until you literally reach zero.
Every dollar accounted for.
Every single one. The material suggests this method offers maximum control and really forces a deep reflection on every expenditure. It leaves no room for money to just disappear unaccounted for.
That level of detail sounds intense, almost like a full-time job for your money.
It definitely requires discipline initially, yes, but one source noted that its proponents often find it incredibly clarifying, like it just clicks for them.
Okay, what else?
Then there's the 50-30-20 rule. This one's presented as a more straightforward framework, maybe less granular.
Simpler, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. It divides your after-tax income into 3 buckets. 50% for Needs rent, utilities, essential groceries, that sort of thing.
Okay, the must-haves.
Right. 30% for wants, the discretionary spending like dining out, hobbies, entertainment.
The fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the final 20% is for savings and debt repayment. This one is often recommended for its simplicity in balancing priorities without getting totally bogged down in minute detail.
And for those who prefer something more tangible or maybe struggle with digital tracking, the classic envelope system gets a mention too.
Yes, absolutely. Particularly useful for those variable spending categories. You literally allocate a set amount of cash for things like groceries or entertainment.
Actual cash in envelopes.
Actual cash in physical envelopes. And once the cash in that envelope is gone, you stop spending in that category for the month.
Wow. Old school but effective.
Very. The sources note this method provides a really tangible sense of spending limits and can be highly effective in curbing impulse buys in those specific areas. You physically see the money dwindling.
Okay, so zero base for total control, 5 or 30/20 for simplicity, envelopes for tangible limits. The material seems pretty clear that choosing a method and actually sticking to it is the foundation.
It's the active engagement, right? Choosing your money's path rather than just letting it, drift away.
With that budget foundation in place, the logical next step highlighted everywhere in the sources is giving that budget direction, setting your financial goals. You can't really build the engine without knowing where you want it to take you, right?
Precisely. Clear, defined financial goals are described again and again as the North Star. They provide the purpose, the why behind every budgeting and spending decision you make.
And the sources really stress the importance of distinguishing between different time horizons for these goals, don't they?
Yes, absolutely. Understanding the difference between short-term and long-term objectives is crucial for, appropriate planning and allocation.
Okay.
Short-term goals are typically things achievable within about a year.
Like building up that emergency fund everyone talks about.
Absolutely. The material really emphasizes this as a critical first step, aiming for, say, 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses.
Got it. What else?
Paying off high-interest debt, particularly credit cards, is another common short-term focus, often targeted within maybe 6 to 12 months.
Makes sense. Get rid of that expensive debt fast.
Exactly. And one source pointed out something interesting. Achieving these short-term goals provides this immediate momentum, this boost. It builds crucial financial confidence.
Ah, so you get some quick wins.
Yeah, quick wins keep you motivated.
And the long-term goals. These are the bigger picture aspirations. The marathon, not the sprint.
Yes, these generally extend beyond a year and often require significant, sustained effort.
Right.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is where you plan for major life events and future security.
Like buying a house.
Think saving for a down payment on a home, definitely. Retirement planning, the material universally stresses starting early, like today, to maximize compounding growth.
That compounding is powerful stuff.
It really is. Or funding future education costs, maybe through things like 529 plans. These require a dedicated long-range strategy built right into your budget.
So you have this list of things you want to achieve, both soon and way off in the future. But the sources acknowledge you likely can't throw everything you have at all of them simultaneously.
Yeah, that's usually not realistic.
So prioritization becomes essential.
It really does. Not every goal holds the same urgency or importance at any given moment. The sources recommend a pretty structured approach to prioritization. A key principle highlighted is using the SMART criteria for defining your goals.
Right. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Okay, most people listening have probably heard that acronym. But for someone familiar with it, what's the nuance the sources add? How does applying SMART specifically to financial goals change things?
This is where it gets more insightful, I think. The sources suggest that while people know the acronym, they often fall short on the specific and measurable aspects in actual practice.
How so?
Well, instead of just saying save for a house, it needs to be $50,000 down payment in 5 years. That level of detail.
Okay, much more concrete.
Exactly. The achievable part forces a reality check based on your actual budget. Is it even possible? The relevant makes sure it aligns with your deepest values, which makes you more likely to stick to it.
Right, it has to matter to you.
And time-bound adds that deadline, that accountability. So the SMART framework, when applied rigorously, turns these vague hopes into concrete targets you can actually track.
That specificity makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They also talk about the constant evaluation of needs versus wants, right?
Yes. And while this seems basic, the sources revisit it in the context of allocation.
Oh.
Ensuring your fundamental needs housing, utilities, food are fully covered before you start allocating significant funds to wants or even less urgent goals is presented as just non-negotiable for financial stability.
Build the foundation
To
first.
build that robust foundation first.
And to make this prioritization maybe more visual, they suggest a structured list.
Exactly. Categorizing goals visually, maybe high, medium, low priority, helps clarify where to focus your resources right now.
Any examples?
Yeah, one source gave examples like high priority,
Yeah.
building that emergency fund, paying off high interest debt. Medium priority, maybe retirement savings, starting a down payment fund. Low priority, perhaps a vacation fund, other discretionary big purchases.
So it helps you see which battles to fight first based on urgency and long-term impact.
Precisely.
Here's where it gets really interesting though, I thought. The material emphasizes that this isn't a set it and forget it step. Your goals have to be revisited regularly.
Absolutely. Regularly reassessing your goals is non-negotiable because, well, life isn't static, is it?
Definitely not.
A new job, a shift in family structure, unexpected expenses, even big changes in the market, these can drastically alter what's achievable or what your priorities should be.
Right.
The sources really stress that flexibility and adaptation are just as important as the initial planning.
Okay, so you have the budget foundation, you've set and prioritized your destinations, your
Yeah.
goals. The next critical piece, according to all the sources, is the actual mechanics. Building your budget plan, tracking what's coming in and where it's actually going out.
This is the data collection phase, basically. You really can't manage what you don't measure.
Makes sense.
First is meticulously tracking income. And this goes beyond just your main salary, right?
Accounting for every single dollar coming in.
Every single dollar. Your salary, obviously, but also any side hustle income. Lots of people have those now.
True.
Passive income, like dividends or maybe rental payments, and other income like bonuses, tax refunds, even significant gifts sometimes.
Okay.
The material suggests using a consistent system, maybe a detailed spreadsheet, to log these sources monthly because they can definitely fluctuate.
And then the part that can sometimes feel like pulling off a Band-Aid, tracking expenses.
Definitely. This can be eye-opening for people. The sources recommend breaking these down into fixed expenses.
The predictable ones.
Right, the ones that are roughly the same each month, rent or mortgage payments, loan installments, insurance premiums, things like that.
Okay.
And variable expenses, which fluctuate. Think groceries, dining out, transportation costs, utilities that aren't fixed, entertainment.
The list goes on.
It does.
Mhm.
Tracking both gives you that comprehensive view of where your money is actually flowing, not just where you think it's flowing.
So how do the sources recommend making this tracking effective beyond just, jotting things down occasionally?
Consistency and detail are absolutely key. Use a dedicated tracking method, whether it's a digital app, a spreadsheet you maintain, or even a detailed notebook if that works for you.
Whoever you'll stick with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Regularly review your bank and credit card statements. The sources highlight how tracking allows you to spot those small recurring charges or subscriptions that you might otherwise miss.
The little leaks again?
The little leaks, which collectively can be a significant drain. And this is where leveraging technology becomes incredibly powerful.
Because the apps can automate a lot of that data collection, right? Make it easier.
Exactly. Budgeting apps like Mint, YNA, Pocket Guard, Every Dollar, Good Budget, they're mentioned constantly as revolutionizing this step.
How so?
They can automatically categorize transactions, link all your accounts in one place, provide real-time spending updates. It significantly reduces the manual effort and, frankly, increases accuracy. Less chance of forgetting something.
Okay, so you've tracked every dollar in and out. Now you have the data. The next step is the balancing act, allocating funds based on your budget and goals.
This is where the rubber meets the road, as they say. Based on your income and tracked expenses, you strategically decide how much goes to saving, how much to investing, and how much is left for spending.
Right.
The material really emphasizes developing a robust saving strategy. While that 50-30-20 rule suggests 20%, the sources generally indicate this should be seen as a minimum target. Aim higher if you possibly can.
Especially for that emergency fund first.
Definitely prioritize that emergency fund 3 to 6 months of expenses. And crucially, automating savings transfers the moment you get paid is repeatedly highlighted.
Pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first. Make it happen before you even have a chance to spend it. It's a key habit of successful savers, according to this research.
So saving builds that immediate security and covers specific goals. But for long-term wealth building, the sources also discuss exploring investments.
Yes, this is how your money starts working for you and really benefits from the power of compound interest over time.
What kind of examples did they give?
Well, things like maximizing contributions to tax-advantaged retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, whatever you have access to. Exploring investments in stocks and bonds, maybe through brokerage accounts or simpler robo-advisors.
Okay.
And for those with the means and interest, considering real estate investments like rental properties or REITs.
Gotcha. And after you've strategically allocated for savings and investments, what's left is for managing daily spending.
Precisely. This is
Mhm.
about creating your realistic spending plan for your needs and your wants.
Back to the 50-30-20 maybe.
And you can use frameworks like 50-30-20 as a guideline, absolutely. But the sources emphasize the need to regularly review and adjust spending habits based on your actual tracking data.
It's about being conscious.
It's about finding areas to trim consciously without feeling overly restricted. Maybe setting realistic limits for dining out or entertainment based on your goals. And importantly, don't forget the power of seeking discounts and deals.
Right.
Utilizing sales, coupons, cashback apps, this stuff can significantly impact your discretionary spending over time. It adds up.
Okay, so you've got the plan built, you're tracking meticulously, you're allocating funds strategically. Sounds good on paper. But even with the best plan and the best intentions, we all hit snags.
Oh, absolutely. Life happens.
The sources spend a fair bit of time on common behavioral challenges, particularly impulse purchases and overspending.
Yeah, this is where theory meets messy reality. Impulse buying is presented as a significant budget derailer.
We've all been there.
Totally.
Yeah.
The relatable example given in one source is going to the store for milk and bread and leaving with, I don't know, a new gadget or piece of clothing because it caught your eye or it was on sale.
Guilty.
These unplanned buys just erode progress toward your goals. Simple as that.
So what are the specific techniques the sources recommend to combat those spontaneous decisions? How do you fight the impulse?
Several really practical strategies are offered. First, implementing a waiting period.
The 24-hour rule.
Yeah, for non-essential purchases, forcing yourself to wait 24 hours or maybe even a week for bigger items provides that crucial distance to evaluate if it's truly needed and, importantly, budgeted for.
Creates a pause. Okay.
Second, creating and sticking to clear shopping lists, especially for places like grocery stores or, online retailers where it's easy to browse.
Stick to the list.
Stick to the list. Third, consciously avoiding temptation zones. Identifying the specific stores, websites, or even times of day that trigger your impulse buys and limiting your exposure.
Know your weaknesses.
Exactly. Fourth, understanding your triggers. Recognizing why you tend to overspend. Is it boredom? Stress? Social
Okay.
pressure? Knowing the root cause helps you address it more effectively.
Let's get in deeper.
And finally, a really practical one, accounting for obligatory expenses like birthdays or holidays by including them in your budget ahead of time.
Plan for the gifts.
Plan for them so
Yeah.
you're not forced into last-minute, potentially impulsive and often expensive gift buying.
Those are very concrete steps. They also touch on overspending in areas that seem essential, like groceries, right? Even needs can get out of control.
Yes, definitely. Even necessary expenses can exceed the budget if they're not managed consciously.
So what are the tips there?
Tips highlighted include things like meal planning to create targeted shopping lists and minimize food waste, setting a specific grocery budget, and maybe using apps, one source mentioned, Grocery IQ, to track while you're actually shopping.
Cracking in real time in the store.
Yeah, so you see how much you're spending as you go. And actively utilizing cashback and discounts through loyalty programs, apps, or good old-fashioned coupons. It's about conscious spending even on the essentials.
Leveraging technology feels like a thread woven through basically all these steps we've discussed.
It absolutely is. The sources present technology, specifically these budgeting apps and online tools, not just as convenient, but as really powerful allies in maintaining discipline and gaining insight.
Beyond just the basic tracking, why are these tools seen as so beneficial according to the material? What's the big advantage?
Well, they offer ease of access and real-time visibility. You can check your budget status anytime, anywhere, right on your phone. They provide clear visual representation through graphs and charts, which makes complex financial data much easier to understand. Seeing where your money actually went visually can be very impactful for changing behavior.
Pictures speak louder than spreadsheets sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. And their automation features for things like transaction categorization, setting up bill reminders, even automating savings transfers, these significantly reduce the mental load and the risk of just forgetting something important.
And the sources call out specific tools by name.
Yes, they do. Beyond the popular budgeting apps like Mint, which is often cited for ease of use, YNAB praised for its proactive give every dollar a job philosophy.
The zero-based approach?
Right. Pocket Guard, which focuses on how much is available to spend safely. Every Dollar, which is also strong on zero-based.
Mm.
And Good Budget, which uses that digital envelope system metaphor.
So lots of app options. Anything else?
Yeah, they also mention other useful resources. Good old spreadsheets like Excel or Google Sheets for people who want complete customization. Various free online budgeting templates you can download. Financial calculators for planning different scenarios like loan payments or savings growth. And reputable financial blogs and educational resources for continuous learning and support.
Okay, so all these techniques and tools sound incredibly helpful for setting up and actually running your financial plan. But as the sources consistently emphasize, the real longevity, the real success comes from the final piece. You can't just set it and forget it, can you?
Not at all. That's a huge takeaway. The importance of monitoring and adjusting is perhaps the most critical, yet often the most neglected step.
Really. More critical than setting it up.
Well, the sources call this the phase where the real magic happens because it ensures your plan remains relevant and effective as your life inevitably changes. It's the key to staying accountable and proactive over the long haul.
Why is that regular check-in so vital then? What does it actually do for you?
The sources give several compelling reasons. First, it provides accountability. Forcing yourself to confront your spending and saving habits regularly just reinforces your commitment.
Keeps you honest.
Exactly.
Actually.
Second, it helps you identify trends over time. You start noticing patterns, like maybe spending is creeping up in a specific category you weren't even aware of.
Spotting problems early.
Precisely. Which allows for adjustments in real time, catching potential issues early before they significantly derail your goals. And importantly, it's a huge source of motivation.
How so?
Seeing tangible progress, like watching your emergency fund grow, or seeing that debt balance actually decrease month after month, that's incredibly encouraging and reinforces the positive feedback loop. Makes you want to keep going.
Okay, that makes sense. So how does the material suggest actually doing this review effectively? Is there a process?
Yeah, make it a scheduled habit. Set a specific time, maybe monthly, maybe bi-weekly, and put it on your calendar like any other important appointment. Don't just hope you'll get around to it.
Be intentional about it.
It's very intentional. Then, gather all your financial statements, bank accounts, credit cards, investment accounts to get that holistic view.
Everything in one place.
Then, evaluate your actual spending versus your budgeted amounts. Pinpoint where the variances are. Where did you overspend? Where did you underspend?
Okay.
Reflect deeply on your goals. Are you on track? Are they still the right goals for you now? And the sources do acknowledge that sometimes this review might indicate the need to seek professional financial advice if you're facing really complex issues or just feel truly stuck.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right. One source even provided a sample checklist for this review. Schedule it, gather the data, compare actuals versus budget, reflect on progress and goals, and identify necessary adjustments. Pretty straightforward.
So the review is about understanding what happened and where you stand currently, which then naturally leads to the necessary part, making changes when needed.
Exactly. Making necessary changes is not a sign of failure. It's actually a sign of an active, healthy financial plan. The sources really stress that a budget is a living document. It's supposed to evolve with your life.
But how do you know when it's time to adjust? This raises an important question. What are the red flags? What signals tell you, okay, time to tweak the budget?
That's a great question. The sources list some clear indicators. First, have your changed financial circumstances significantly altered? Like a new job, a pay raise, maybe unfortunately a job loss, adding a family member, these big life events all necessitate adjustments.
Makes sense. What else?
Have you encountered major unforeseen expenses that kind of threw off your previous plan, like a big car repair or medical bill?
Yeah, those happen.
Have you experiencing stalled progress toward goals? Like, are you consistently failing to meet your savings targets or debt reduction milestones month after month? That's a sign something's not working. Or have you simply had behavioral changes? Maybe your priorities have shifted, or your lifestyle has changed in a way that impacts your spending patterns. These are all signals that your current budget needs recalibrating to reflect your current reality.
And once you spot those signs, what steps does the material recommend for adjusting effectively? How do you make the changes?
First step is to reevaluate priorities based on your current circumstances, what's most critical right now. Maybe something shifted.
Okay.
Then reallocate funds based on that updated prioritization. If unexpected costs popped up, maybe you temporarily shift focus from a less urgent goal, like a vacation fund, to rebuilding your emergency buffer.
Makes sense, shifting things around.
Build in flexibility, perhaps adding a small miscellaneous or buffer category to absorb minor surprises in the future so they don't derail
A
everything.
little wiggle room.
Exactly. Communicate changes, especially if you're budgeting with a partner or family. Make sure everyone is aligned on the new plan. And document changes, keep a record of why you made adjustments. It helps track your financial journey and learnings over time.
So what does this all mean then? It sounds like the true power comes not just from creating the initial plan, but really from this ongoing engagement, this cycle of review and adjustment.
Precisely. It's a dynamic process, not a static document you create once. Regularly monitoring and adjusting your budget isn't just maintenance, it's how you maintain control, adapt to life's inevitable curveballs, and ensure your financial plan is always working for you, actively keeping you on the path to your goals.
Okay, so we've taken a pretty deep dive into this stack of sources, moving beyond just the basics, to really uncover how successful people seem to approach their finances. It starts with understanding budgeting as a strategic blueprint, not a punishment. Then setting and prioritizing clear, smart goals.
Right. Building the plan through diligent tracking, knowing where every dollar comes from and goes.
And strategic allocation saving, investing, spending with intention.
Then leveraging those techniques and technology to navigate the common pitfalls, like those impulse buys we all struggle with.
And crucially, recognizing that consistent monitoring and adjusting is where the sustained success is really built, that ongoing cycle.
It really is a framework for empowerment, isn't it? Mastering these skills, according to the sources, transforms your relationship with money. It goes from being a source of anxiety and reaction
Yeah, it's trust.
to one of confidence and proactive control. It truly clears the path for pursuing your aspirations, whether they're big or small.
And while this dive really focused on the fundamentals managing your current money, laying that strong base, the sources definitely hinted at the incredible long-term potential this foundation unlocks.
Oh, absolutely, the bigger picture.
Yeah, imagine what consistently applying these steps, not just this month, but over years, even decades, what that actually means for building significant wealth, securing a comfortable retirement, maybe even creating a lasting legacy for future generations.
It compounds, just like interest.
Exactly. That sustained commitment, leveraging the power of time and consistency, all based on these core principles. That's the powerful journey these sources ultimately point towards, isn't it? Really makes you think about the long game.